Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Hello, can you hear me? This is Aug.7, 2019, and I am in a family-friendly motel here in Miami while our Coral Gables home is being fumigated. And we thank God, we thank Divine Providence for making such motels available. Since there are other kinds of motels we checked out, we just were incredulous. We could not believe all the paraphernalia that went into making those rooms dens of iniquity, with mirrors on the top and the side and everything else. Well, in this particular motel, in order for me to not be guilty of vanity, I covered this mirror that they have here at the entrance of my room with a wonderful image of Our Lady of Guadalupe. It's on a t-shirt that you can get at Amazon.com, and that's what I highly recommend that travelers they have in their possession. Always carry this t-shirt with Our Lady of Guadalupe's image on it, and cover the mirror in the hotel or in the motel room where you're staying, so that you can diminish certain temptations of vanity. At any rate, we believe that deep state Democrat Joe Biden has unofficially declared U.S. civil war today in his speech. Highly unjust, full of mendacity, and he should be ashamed of himself, because he has been in government for over 30 years, and all of these solutions that he claims that President Trump has not accomplished and so on, with the immigration and other things, are solutions that he never succeeded at himself in government. He never sponsored legislation to restore insane asylums, for example. For those who are currently homeless, many of them have mental problems, and they should be taken care of in asylums, in institutions. And yet, no, that was never mentioned. I don't believe that's part of his legislative legacy. And so it's easy to see where mentally unbalanced people, given the right stimuli, can go ahead and commit horrible acts of violence. And of course, the media refuses to admit the role of violent video games in all of this. Like there are all kinds of video games that are so bloody. And the Columbine killings, for example, those two men who committed those atrocities there in Colorado many years ago, they watched video games continuously. They did video gaming, and they watched occult things on television. And the same thing is true for other mass shooters who, as Raymond Arroyo mentioned in the Ingram angle last night, all of these mass shooters have one thing in common, and that is they have a lonely kind of existence. They've been bullied in school, they've been marginalized, and so they take it upon themselves to rectify this, what they consider injustice, by doing all kinds of horrible things. Anyway, we want to take advantage of this opportunity of Our Lady of Guadalupe's image here to thank Our Lady of Guadalupe for appearing in Tepeyac Hill, Mexico in 1531 to a very humble Indian, Juan Diego, and through the instrumentality of this miraculous image, which is over 400 years old, on the original tilma of Juan Diego, scientists have been absolutely baffled, and they have found that in the eyes of this image are images of the bishop, Juan Diego, and the interpreter. You can see this in the eyes when they're magnified tremendously. And also wrapping around Our Lady of Guadalupe are stars, are the constellations in the sky that were in place on the day of her apparition in 1531. There is a astronomy software that can take you back to what were the stars like in 1531 in December. And they correspond to constellations on the blue cloak, as it were, of Our Lady, were the constellations in the heavens at that time. And we were glad to see that that Arcturus is part of the constellation that is recognized in these constellation of stars. In fact, Arcturus is right over the Immaculate Heart of of Our Lady Guadalupe if you look at it closely. And of course, the Virgo constellation is